Yeah.
We're going to work with 3 types of bee feeders, beehive feeders here very briefly. The first one is what's called the Boardman feeder. It's designed so that this part goes into the front of the hive like that, and then this part which I just stuck in is open so that the bees can go into it. This piece here, we take a jar that would be full of sugar water or sucrose or fructose, and we put it in upside down like this, and in that position the bees can then can lick the sucrose up and take it back up into the hive and feed the other bees. And this is called the Boardman feeder. It's nice because all you got to do is take this jar out, refill the jar, and then put this jar back in place, and they can keep on feeding.
And run fast. And run fast when you take it out.
And be aware of the fact that when you go back to put it in place, there will be bees who will be in that space, and you're going to have to set it down gently, ever so gently, so don't crush them. Otherwise you will have to run fast.
And you say the big one lasts about 3 days?
Yeah.
And the small one a day and a half?
The big bulb lasts about 3 days. The quart size lasts a day maybe.
Okay.
Maybe even less. But they both have the same type of feeder we're going to talk about. Is this one. This is called a division board feeder. It sits down, it's a hollow trough. It sits down into the hive like this, and then you pour the sugar water into it from the top, and then the bees can climb up to the edges of it and go down into it and feed off of it. And if you were to feel it inside, you could feel it's textured so that the bees tend not to slip into the water. However, the bees do drown themselves pretty frequently using this guy. So to compensate for that, we'll pick up grass, something like that, and we'll put it on top of the water, the sugar water, and that floats like a life raft, and then they can climb on that and feed through it, and as it goes down, the raft goes down until they're at the bottom. That's the second one. This one, to get to it, you have to go through 2 levels, the inner cover and the outer cover. So when you use the Boardman feeder, you've got to raise up the outer cover, take it off. Then you've got to raise up the inner cover, take it off.
Yeah.
And then you can pour your syrup into the thing very carefully, because remember, you've got other frames that have bees on them right next to it. You start spilling the stuff around, it makes a big mess and you drown the bees.
Is it, I take it, do you kind of decant some syrup into a smaller jar first? And
take it, put it in a jar this size.
Yeah.
And then just take it over and fill it up, or get some sort of a garden a flower watering device.
And just, and I take it with this, the bees get pretty agitated more so with this kind of feeder than the...
They can. My experience has been that if you do this gently with good thoughts, you can come up to the hive. Now these surfaces will be glued to each other by natural bee glue.
Yeah.
And when you come up to it, first thing you got to do is take something and knock that loose, and then raise it up off of it. The bees probably will not object too much to that.
Okay.
Then the next thing you got to do is take a pocket knife or some sort of a wedge, a screwdriver or something, and slip it between the edges of these and pop that loose so that you can raise it up.
Okay.
Again, the bees probably won't get terribly upset with you for doing that. But then you've got to check to make sure the water's been used up, and if it has, go ahead and put fresh water in. If you find that the bees have died in mass, then dump them out. Take the whole thing out, dump it, rinse it out, and then put it back fresh.
Okay.
Because it's like going to the graveyard for a molted. So, it's probably a pretty gross example.
Okay.
But at any rate, Those are those two types of feeders. The third type of feeder that we're going to be...
Oh, how often would the black trough feeder need feeding? Does it hold more?
If the hive is real strong, it can go in 3 days too.
Okay.
It's about a half a gallon, which is what that jar is. It's just open. Now, third method of feeding is we put this up on top of the inner cover. Then we take a plastic bag like this, fill it with our fluid, seal it up, lay it up on top, making sure that the opening is at least open a little bit so that they can get up to it. And then take a sharp razor blade or a knife and just slit maybe that much, an inch,
Okay.
on the top edge. In fact, I'll do one just to show you
So we can see it.
how it might work.
No, we don't.
Okay, we close this baby up, and we don't want to fill this one super full. Maybe fill it half full.
Half full. Okay.
And then lay it up on there like that. And then once you've laid it up there, you can take a knife and just slit the thing like that.
Oh, it's only a small.
And that's all you need to do, and now they can get to it.
Okay.
You don't want to slit it all the way through both sides, because if you do that, then it'll spill out on the hive.
And just like 1 or 2 cuts in there, or just
one cut will
just
be fine.
1 cut?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 cuts would be okay, but
1
probably
cut's
if you make
adequate.
1 cut up here close to the top edge, you can reuse the bag
Okay.
again and again.
Stay over here, Josie.
So those are the 3 types of feeders. This is pollen food. And
But just watch out, because George is driving around with them.
here it is. Go ahead and take a look. It's not messy. It's not icky.
It's quite tasty, actually.
It might be. It might be quite flavorful. But the mice love it, and that's why I didn't open it until now. But you just pull a piece out like this, take about half a patty and put it in the top of the hive.
In the
one
top,
end.
like in this area
Where
here.
that,
Where the bag would go.
Yeah, where the bag is. It gets a little bit busy up here, but it works. You put that like that, and then you can lay this across there like that.
And just peel the top side of the paper
You
off.
can, or you can leave it. The bees seem quite capable of chewing through it if they like it.
Okay.
But some people prefer to strip the... so you take your jar like this. These are usually easy enough to open by hand. If they're too tight to open with your bare hand, you get a rag or a towel, clamp it over, and then you can open it. Open it up. Do not try to open this back valve here, because you'll just create problems for everybody. And then just take your container, tip it up, bring your receptacle up to it, and then just fill it slowly like that.
Okay.
When you're done, make sure you close this again to keep the flies out of it and the mice from getting into it. And don't leave any residue on the container, because the mice will find that and they'll use that as a reason to chew through the plastic.
Right, okay. And just give the thing a little shake as well, just a little, just to mix it all up.
Yeah, you can just do something like this.
Okay, and that'll be good enough. Okay.
And I don't know if there's much sediment in this one yet. There isn't. So that one I think was more sugar than I think it was a winter mix.
Okay.